Okay, so I want to encourage you to do one main thing right now. If you're training, and I know a lot of people that watch these videos are training, they're out preparing themselves and everything. I want you to increase that training, and I want you to train as if you're at war. What does that mean? That means if you're on the range training, you're standing there doing static shooting, then I want you to pressure test yourself and pressure test your gear. If you've got on some kind of gear, I want you to lay down on the ground and roll about 10 times one way and about 10 times the other and stand up and see what came off of your gear. I want you to take off in a full sprint and run 100 yards with your gear on, run 100 yards back, then shoot at your targets. I want you to pressure test yourself and your gear. I want you to clean your weapons. I want you to be ready as if you woke up, you went to sleep, you woke up, and now the world is at war. I want you to be ready. From now on, if you're standing static and you're shooting, you're wrong. You need to be moving and shooting. Moving and shooting. They say, or the FBI, or I don't know if it's the FBI or the national statistics, that you have an 80% more survivability rate in a gunfight if you're moving. So what does that tell you? You need to be moving. Also, most gunfights happen in adverse lighting conditions. So what does that tell you? You need to be training at night. You need to be moving at night. You need to know how to operate at night without giving away your positions. And you need to know how to operate with all kind of night gear, meaning night vision, thermal, IR lasers, all this kind of stuff. You need to be getting ready with that sort of thing. You need to train as if it's war now. This candy training, I call it, where you go hey man, you want to go to the range? And everybody pulls out their gun and they stand there and they just unload a magazine on a target. And they all high five and the barrel's smoking and nothing's happened. They get their fat ass back in their car and they huff and puff off and they feel like they're ready for war. If you can't roll out of your vehicle, firing your weapon, hitting a man-sized target at 100 yards, running 100 yards, then you are not ready. And I'm not talking about, walking. I'm talking about running at full tilt, because unless you have witnessed combat, you're usually running and hiding and running and taking cover and running and returning fire and taking cover. You need to return fire immediately and move, shoot, move, communicate. And that leads us to the next part of the communication. You need to have solid comms. You need to have a way that you can protect your hearing and have comms. So there's many ways doing that. There's the Walker headsets that gives you the GMRS codes, channels, not codes, channels, and you can hear and it protects your hearing, actually enhances your hearing. You can even use things like I got on now, which is like a Bluetooth with your phone, which can stop, but it won't cut out the noise. That's the problem. It won't cut out the actual noise. I think Walker headsets make some that actually do that, but these particular ones won't. But they'll actually, you can talk on your phone, so you could actually have comms on your phone as you're shooting. You just got to protect that hearing, because as soon as you fire your weapon inside your vehicle or inside your house, your hearing's gone, unless you have a suppressor and all that stuff. So, basically start thinking about it and, start training, start acting it, start working it. They say, well, live action role play. Well, in many ways, that's, kind of a candy ass way of doing things. But in other ways, it's very good to do. You're not going to be able to put on a 50-pound kit and go fight. You're going to have something light where you can move and you can shoot and you can move out. And if you don't have the ability to shoot and move, then you might as well get you some white flags and get ready to wave them and give your shit to somebody else that can. Because I'm telling you right now, if you've ever been in combat, you understand what I'm saying about shoot and move. You got to get off the X. You got to learn how to do ambushes. You got to learn how to flank people. You got to learn how to move. You want to learn some of the basics? Go to a paintball thing one weekend. and go up against a team that knows what they're doing. And you will start realizing, oh crap, man, I got to get better. I mean, the world ain't about paintball, but it is about tactics, and it is about movement, and it is about putting rounds on a target as you move and keeping people's heads down and things like that. So, folks, start training as if it's real. Training as if it's combat. Pressure test your gear. You know, run with all your gear on and see if you can do it. See what falls off. All these fancy leg holsters and shit, you're going to be running, and that leg holster is going to wrap around to your damn knee, and it's going to trip you and everything. You're not going to know what the hell you're doing. All these fancy, you know, plate carriers and stuff, you know, you need a plate carrier. You need some way to carry your gear, but do you need 50 pounds of shit hanging off of it? You know, all these backpacks that's supposed to be combat backpacks, and you haul ass with those, and you know, and you can't even stand up with them, you know. You need to think it through. You need to pressure test your stuff. Okay? All right. Give you something else to think about. It's what I've been working on. It's what I've been preaching. So trying to get there, because we're Cinderella, man. It's the clock has struck midnight. We've came out, and the carriage is turned into a pumpkin, and the horses are rats. So, yeah, and we've lost one of our slippers. Time's run out, folks.